12:05 in the afternoon here on 90.3 FM, and it's time on this Wednesday for Helping Seniors of Brevard. It's a chilly Wednesday, but let's get things warmed up with a good conversation. Here is the host of Helping Seniors of Brevard and the executive director, none other than Kerry Fink. Hi, Kerry.
Hey, John Harper. Great to be here on the radio Wednesdays at lunchtime and, talking about this chilly weather. Wasn't it? What did they say? Did the groundhog see its shadow? Were we supposed to? Yeah, so I guess we were getting our second few days of winter here in Florida. You know how that goes.
But we warm up nicely by the weekend.
That's what it looked like. It looked like it was going to be a beautiful weekend.
78 on Sunday, so that's good.
I like that, especially after some of the rain we had the past few days. So it is all good. And, John, it's always good to be on the radio every Wednesday because we get a chance to talk about one of our favorite topics, and that's helping seniors of Brevard as a 501c3. You're the president. You've been involved in this since the day Joe started this 15 years ago, and actually you were helping Joe before that. You were helping Joe when he was building Joe's clubs. And I met Joe 15 years ago and was just literally finishing up an article for the April edition of Senior Scene magazine. We're talking about the fact that this is 15 years of helping seniors and now 3 years in our Senior Resource Center, which is that beautiful space that they have made available to us. They call it the Apollo Professional Tower, 1344 South Apollo Boulevard, and gave us a big space there on the second floor. Has a big, it's the we call it the Omni Healthcare Building because it's got a big sign on it. It's just a block or two from the hospital, and it's a great location for us to do a lot of things. And we're going to be talking about some of those things today, and that is actually was the title of the article. It was called Picking Up the Pace, because 15 years in, when Joe started this, there was a lot of work to do for seniors, but my goodness, 15 years later, we have more seniors and we have more things that we need to do, and we've been trying to do that. And as a small 501c3, which is a fancy word for nonprofit, we're only able to go as far as people help us to do. And the way that we're able to do that a lot of times is from a number of businesses and organizations who get behind the work of helping seniors. That makes it possible. Every time that you buy a Helping Seniors car raffle ticket, we're going to talk a little bit about that today, because hot off the presses, we just got our first little promotional items for the car raffle. You definitely want to save the date for that. Let me go ahead and give you that now so you can get it on your calendar, clear off your entire Sunday afternoon, October 25th, 2026. We're going to be right back at the American Muscle Car Museum for a great fun Sunday afternoon. Once again, our dear friend AJ Hires, who is the exceptional car dealer, but also exceptional philanthropist in our area. He does so much for so many organizations, and I would dare say if AJ hadn't befriended Joe when Joe was building all this up and helped him with cars to raise money for charity, I doubt that we might even be here today. So we're always grateful to AJ. But once again, he's made 7 amazing cars available. Last year, our winner, he chose a Kia. So that's what he's tooling around in. That's one of the great choices. And then the year before, our winner, he chose the Chevrolet Colorado pickup truck. So there's lots of great choices because AJ really has one of almost every car brand that makes a difference. So it's why you get to pick the car. It's a new car, and you get to decide what you want to drive home in on the 25th of October. And so you don't have to be present to win, but what always happens out there, it's a great event. Mark Pylock opens up that amazing American Muscle Car Museum. He's got like 500 cars inside. And last year, with the help of a good friend, Bill Antonetz, we were able to, with permission, put a car show outside. And it occurred to us, we're just going to call it an outside fall festival. So because it's the last weekend in October, Bill told all of his folks that were bringing cars out, you got to load up your trunk with all kinds of goodies for the kids so they can come out in costume and pop by the different cars and go home with a goodie bag full of stuff. So somebody's going to go home with a car, but it sounds like everybody's going to go home with a good time. So make sure you put that on your calendar. And it's vitally important because when you donate for your ticket, one ticket is still $25. It's amazing in this age when they talk about inflation, prices going up. We've kept it the same every year. One ticket, $25, five $400 donation to helping seniors. We have we call it the Friend of Joe package. You can donate $200 and get 10 tickets, and then you actually get a Friend of Joe pin honoring our founder who, without his driving force and vision, none of this would be making the difference for seniors that we're able to do today. So if you want to get your tickets early, you can always call us at 321-473-7770. You're also going to be seeing it up on our website and start to hear about it as we go along, because for us, this is about half of our fundraising every year. So we really do need your help, and get your friends, your family, buy tickets, buy lots of tickets, and help us keep the work of helping seniors go in the community. And so I want to come right back to what we were talking about at the Senior Resource Center, because the title of the article I wrote was Picking Up the Pace, because now we're doing more and more things. And one of the things that I'm excited about is we do a program every fourth Thursday of the month. So that will be not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. We are all going to gather at the Senior Resource Center there at 1344 South Apollo Boulevard. And we do two things. At 10 a.m., we do what's called the Knowledge College for Aging. And that's our effort to educate you on those, we call them the 7 pillars of a good aging plan, or the 7 things you need to do to get your ducks in a row, as we like to say. We are going to be tackling that next week, and it's really going to be a good time from 10 to 11. And then at 11 to 12, we do a thing called wellness, because the first thing we talk about on your aging plan is you got to talk about health and wellness. And so we have somebody who's been a dear friend of helping seniors. You know, my goodness, Dr. Kevin, I think you were involved very early on. I remember you and Joe doing radio programs many, many years back. You have been an expert in holistic health, and you've run centers. You've helped people with addiction recovery, and for the past several years, you've been very invested in getting something very important off the ground called the Faith College of Natural Health. And you're going to be presenting next week, you and Dr. Mike Edwards. Hey, guys, how are you today?
Very good. Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Good. You guys are going to be presenting, and I want to hear a little bit. So this is 11 to 12 next Thursday. You are so invited, if you're hearing this, to come and join us. We ask if you can RSVP. That just helps Nancy and the volunteers make sure we have enough snacks, enough door prizes, enough fun for everybody. We always have not only the great lectures, but we also have a number of our business partners out there, resources that you can pick up information on. And it's very low key, just an opportunity for you to get the information you need to make your aging plan. So let's talk a little bit first about, I don't know, maybe there's a lot of misconceptions about what holistic health is. Usually we go to the doctor's office, and I remember this story of my wife's mother asking the doctor, like, here's my complaint. You know, every time she would go into the doctor's office, she had a different complaint. And I'm not making fun of it, because, I mean, they were very real for her. But I remember the doctor looking at her one visit and saying, you just want me to write another prescription, don't you? And I think that's a lot of times what our approach to health is. We go to the doctor, we expect them to somehow pull out that prescription pad. Well, I guess they don't, they do it on computer now, but we expect them to pull out that prescription, and we go down to the drugstore, and here's this pill that's going to help. And as you know, Dr. Kevin and Dr. Mike, we've also had lectures in the wellness series where we've had pharmacists come in and say sometimes the doctors can overprescribe, and then you get into a thing called polypharmacy. So where the pills are actually maybe fighting themselves. I don't know. So Dr. Kevin, can we just start with, like, what is holistic health and the benefit of it, so that we can see how it's really going to make a difference for us?
Yes. Well, holistic health, your holistic is really taken from the word whole, like WHOLE, which stands for the whole person. All right. And that's inclusive of mind, body, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which is, areas of your life that you really should address besides just physical. I mean, medical doctors really just catered just to the physical, okay, and also the mind with psychiatry and psychologists and everything else. Um, so a holistic doctor really addresses, all three, and and that's what we are trained to do. We're not allowed to prescribe any medications, so we lean towards supplements. Vitamins, herbs. And most people, may not know that a lot of medications today, they actually are derived from herbs. Because herbs have been around for 5,000 years. The Chinese have been using them for 5,000 years. The India has been using it. They call it Ayurvedic medicine over there, and they've been using herbs for 5,000 years. So I look at it as like, really, and there's a lot of research out there, online about, the effectiveness of herbs, especially herbs, in treating, really all diseases.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where, where, where we're at. We also, do, education also in treating the mind, as well as, we have a number of spiritual courses also, faith-based type courses also.
One of the things that I want to think about or have us maybe explore for a minute, Dr. Mike, feel free to jump in this conversation. It's interesting because when you talk to a medical doctor, you'll find several different, I'm talking about an MD. Some of them will say, well, the reason that we like to not be in holistic medicine is because we trust the FDA, and when they say this is done to this prescription level, it's standardized, and they talk about things like that. And yet at the same time, my wife, when we lived in New York City, we had Tammy called her a little Russian doctor, and this lady, she practiced 3 days a week in a traditional medical clinic as an MD, but then she spent the other 2 days a week working in a holistic doctor's office. So she was not afraid to pull out a prescription pad if that was the correct solution, but she was wise to say, hey, there's things. In fact, it actually came up that there was things that she couldn't do in the, quote, medical office, the traditional medical office, but she said, if you come over on one of the days when I'm practicing here, we can take a look at this. And particularly, this actually saved my wife's life because they had run all these MRIs, all these different things, tried to figure out what was going on. She had some tremors, and they were trying to figure out what was going on. And the doctor was pulling her hair out, and she goes, the only thing left I can think of is let's do a couple of tests, but your insurance is not going to pay for it because it's not in the realm of that. You'd have to come over here. And we're like, if it will help, let's do it. So we go trotting over there, and the test was, and I've heard you talk about this, Dr. Kevin, was a heavy metals test.
Right.
And so she goes and does the test, comes back, and like a week later, the doctor's calling her going like, how much fish do you eat? And Tammy says, we don't eat fish. I'm not a fish fan. It's great for other people, but it's not my thing. And she said, well, your mercury level is off the chart. And so, it was a process. There was conjecture. Maybe it was dental fillings or something we didn't know. But anyway, she said, it doesn't matter what caused it. We got to get this out of you. So that put her on a detox program, and that literally saved her life. But that's the point. Like, if you have somebody who's an intelligent medical doctor who's not closed off to the possibilities, isn't that the best solution, I guess, Dr. Mike?
Interesting situation. I had a call yesterday from a good friend up in Beaufort, South Carolina.
Sure.
And an older friend of mine has had a number of health issues through his life. Huge guy. People refer to him as the bear. He's so big. And Carl has had some issues with his shoulder. He said, I'm having so many insomnia issues. He said, my shoulder, he said, during the day, my shoulder is fine, but every time I try to go to sleep at night, I have this burning sensation in my shoulder, and I can't really figure it out. He said, I went to my MD and talked to him, and he suggested I go see a nerve specialist, a surgeon, and I'm saying, well, Carl, how about thinking a little bit more alternatively or holistically? I said, have you gone to a chiropractor yet? I said, chiropractor is all about the spine and nerves. If you talk to a chiropractor, I mean, if you go to a neuropathic, a nerve surgeon, what are they apt to want to do? It's
Surgery.
It's kind of like going to a barber shop and asking them if you need a haircut. What the heck are they going to tell you? Oh no, you look fine. They're going to tell you to have a seat. So anyway, I said, what I would recommend is first is to go to a chiropractor and see if a simple adjustment can take care of that nerve issue. I said, also acupuncture. Have you thought about acupuncture? I mean, there's so many modalities out there. Like Dr. Kevin and I that talk about all these alternatives all the time that treats the whole body rather than just one part. The last time I went to a doctor and saw him about an issue, they always refer you to another specialist because this other area you got in your body, they've divided the body up in all these areas rather than treat you holistically as the whole person. So anyway, Carl's thinking about going to an acupuncturist and taking care of that nerve issue. But the main thing is self-education. We've gotten away from education. Back in the day when I was in graduate school, one of my internships was with the local American Red Cross, and I did numerous programs on CPR and first aid and all this. And inevitably, I'd ask people, how many health books do you folks have at home? And once in a while, someone would raise their hand, but most of the time they'd have the book that was issued for the course at the American Red Cross. They had no information, no library on health information at home. Of course, this was back 20 years ago. Now you can do a lot of great searches online and find out just about everything. You don't need to go to the library. The library's on the internet. But few people look at how to prevent diseases, how to prevent life issues until they have that issue. And then where do they go? They go to the old standard. They go to an MD.
Right.
Well, think about an ND, a naturopath, that has different modalities that don't deal with harsh, sometimes toxic or deadly drugs. Think about what you could do to preserve your body's integrity. I'm going to be doing a course next week on protecting your memory.
Yeah.
Many of us as we age have memory issues. Sure. No, you guys don't, because gosh, I sit around and listen to you guys and you just rattle off such great information and I'm sitting back trying to catch up. But our memories slow down, which is natural, but there are some things we can do to improve our memory before we realize, or someone says, gosh, Dr. Kevin, is your mind okay? Are you getting any exercise? Again, many of us look back on what's the latest drug I can take for my issue? Right. But drugs aren't always the answer. We know that, gosh, over 1 million people die every year from FDA-approved drugs.
Yes.
And that some studies indicate that our healthcare system is now the third reason for death in this country. I mean, that's scary.
Wow.
So we need to find out how to prevent these diseases and these issues before they happen.
As you were talking about that, I always laugh. We laugh at all the pharmaceutical commercials that come on TV because they always have these beautiful pictures of people throwing Frisbees with their dogs and stuff like that. But while that's going on, they're reading the side effects, and I'm thinking I'm not sure that the risk outweighs the benefit. And Dr. Kevin, we've talked about this. Your career has been for years. You have a whole career in addiction therapy and helping people move beyond addictions, and you try to move that in a holistic approach. You've been involved. We've talked about this for years, that you've been involved in cancer therapies and ways to treat holistically there. And I remember years ago when we were talking about this, because we know it's such a popular question, and it must be that prevalent, or it is that prevalent. is people are trying to reduce pain levels. And so a lot of times that's where people get hooked on some medications that were maybe originally supposed to help them, but ended up taking over their lives. And this is one of the things that makes the importance of holistic medicine so important, Dr. Kevin.
Yes, that's true. And, I've written some articles also on natural approaches, for pain relief. And there are a number of herbs out there. And, I'll give you a couple, but as always, check with your doctor before you start taking any herbs. Okay, just to make sure there's no, any contraindications. Or if you have any questions, feel free to call me. But, there's a couple of them. Like there's one called tart cherry, an herb. All right, and it's been great for the, for the treatment of inflammation, of arthritis and stuff. And that and boswellia is another one that's very good, and all these have been thoroughly clinically studied.
Yeah.
There's also another one that's very good for pain and inflammation, and also it helps greatly with clinical depression, and that's a common one called SAMI.
Oh wow! What?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Just SAM, and an E at the end.
Okay,
it's like SAM-E.
Oh, got it.
All right. And that is very popular because a lot of people who are in chronic pain, even I have experienced it. You get a little bit depressed about it.
Oh,
because
no doubt.
Because you start losing, some hope.
Yeah.
Is this pain ever going to stop?
Don't forget white willow bark.
Yeah, exactly. And white willow bark was derived to make aspirin, wasn't it?
That was the original aspirin. That's what the Native Americans used for hundreds of years to relieve pain.
Wow.
They'd stripped off the bark from a white willow tree and they'd chew on that and it relieved their pain. Matter of fact, I took some last week. I had a headache. Of course, I've got a whole shelf full of herbs and nutrients and things like that. And the thing about white willow bark is that it has natural buffers in it. But when Bayer decided to make their own synthetic aspirin, they left out all the buffers. And so now when people are prescribed to take aspirin, they ended up burning holes in their stomachs or their intestines because that acetylsalicylic acid, that's all it is. It just doesn't have any buffering agents.
Oh, no. So this is the conversation we're going to be continuing. This is Dr. Mike Edwards and Dr. Kevin Kilday with the the Faith College of Natural Health. And again, next Thursday at the Senior Resource Center, you guys are going to present it. We're going to come back after the break. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, and then we're going to get into the opportunity that's ahead at Faith College of Natural Health. And hopefully during the first part, we've talked a little bit about some of the benefits that you're going to derive by taking some time to learn to focus on your health holistically. See you on the second half of the show.
12:33 right now is our time here on 90.3 FM. You're listening to Helping Seniors of Brevard, the show heard every Wednesday, 12 noon to 1 o'clock, hosted by Kerry Fink. Kerry is the Executive Director of Helping Seniors of Brevard and, of course, the host of our show. And, Kerry, we're anxious to hear the second half of today's show.
Yeah, thank you, John Harper. Yeah, we're having a great conversation. This is all leading to hopefully that you've got this marked on your calendar to come out and join us a week from tomorrow. So we are talking about Thursday, and not tomorrow, Thursday, but 1 week from tomorrow. That's the 26th. Is that 26 is the date. And at 10 a.m. Right there at our Senior Resource Center, 1344 South Apollo Boulevard, we do Knowledge College for Aging. But then in the 11 o'clock hour, and you're welcome for both. They're free. They're fun. You will learn a lot, and you will go home much better informed than you arrived. Plus, you'll go home with some good snacks, maybe even a door prize, because Nancy works real hard to make sure that there's good resources there and that there's also good good fun for everybody who comes there. So it really becomes a great gathering every fourth Thursday. And by the way, I just want to say real quick, you will enjoy the Knowledge College because we have a gentleman. His name is Craig Lansing, and he is a professional expert at home modifications, particularly with roofing. You see these ads all the time, also telling you should change your doors and windows and things like that. But again, as you know, if you've heard me talk about this, I really don't like calling 800 numbers because you're calling a call center, and they may be well-meaning, but they're just going to farm you off to whoever's local to maybe do the work, and then they're going to try to stand behind it. Why not just talk to somebody who's local? So Craig is going to share, like, how do you know if you just need a roof repair, or how do you know if you need a roof? Because the roofer is always going to tell you, oh, let's just do the whole roof. They're also going to talk about some of the things that you can do to maybe invest into your home, because they always try to tell you that when you see the TV commercial, oh, if you just change your doors and windows, you've improved the value of your home. Well, there's some things that you should know about that. He's going to share that in the Knowledge College. And then at 11 a.m., our guest today on the radio, Dr. Kevin Kilday and Dr. Mike Edwards of Faith College of Natural Health, are going to be sharing about what we were talking about in the first half of the show, which is holistic health. And, Dr. Kevin, you just published a new book. We were just talking about it during the break. It's out on Amazon, but you can actually get a free copy. Talk just for a second about the book. It has to do with a lot of your background in addiction recovery, right?
Yes. I've been involved in the in addictions recovery and the mental health industries, for over 25 years. And one of the founders of the marketing company I use is a published author. She has 4 books out on Amazon. So we got talking, and I told her I wanted to offer an ebook. So long story short, I've been writing for a number of years for Senior Scene. I don't know.
Yeah, we see you Senior Scene, Spotlight magazine, lots of places.
On a monthly basis for Spotlight for the last 13 years.
Wow.
So we've taken a lot of my articles that are based on research of natural approaches to addictions and to mental health issues, not just for the individual, but also for the whole family. Mm-hmm. Because when you have mental health issues and or addictions, it affects the whole family.
No
doubt. It affects your wife, affects your husband, affects your boyfriend, girlfriend, children, especially get affected by anybody in the family who has issues. So long story short, it's a 100-page ebook. All right. It is now available on Amazon. But I'm also giving away free copies. So all you have to do is call me or email. I'll give you both of those contact information. And the name of the book is Winning at Recovery. Okay? Recovery from addictions, recovery from mental health issues. A total, holistic, natural approach to those the mental health issues and addictions. So a lot of people, just to go on about addictions a little bit, there's a lot of rehabs out there, and they're great for what they do. But they're under a doctor's care a lot of times. But when they get out after a 21 or 28-day program, they have a handful of medications. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed to medications. Don't get me wrong. Okay. However, in addictions and mental health, a lot of times there's an imbalance of your neurotransmitters in your brain, okay? And you have to get them balanced, because medications you might have been taking or drugs you might have been abusing knocks out the balance of those neurotransmitters. So in my book, I address that and address supplements, and other things, exercise, mild exercise, and even some yoga. It's all part of rebuilding not just the mind, but the body and the spirit also.
Yeah.
So it's out, and later in the program we'll give you my phone number that you can text me your email address, and I will send you a absolutely free copy. I mean, on Amazon, I think the intro price is like 99 cents, and it's going to go out for probably to $4.99 after a couple
Yeah.
of months.
But this is your chance to get get your own copy directly into your inbox. So let's go ahead and give what's the number that they would just either call or text a message and say, "Hey, I'd like to get my copy."
Yeah, you can text the phone number of the Faith College of Natural Health, and that is 321 549 0711. That's 321 549 0711. Call. In most cases, I try to answer it if I'm not very busy, or just text me and just say copy of book, and just send me your email address, and I'll see to it that the same day you get a totally free copy. It's about 100 pages long.
Yeah, I think it's great reading. And if you didn't get to jot the number down, we'll give it again, or can call at the Helping Seniors Helpline. Just say to Nancy or one of our great volunteers who answer the phone, just say, "Hey, I heard them talking about the free book that Dr. Kevin Kilday has authored. Can I get a copy?" And she can take down the information and make sure we get it to Dr. Kevin Kilday. So that's 321-473-7770. That's the Helping Seniors number. It's also the number you can RSVP for next Thursday's talk. And Dr. Mike, we were talking during the break, guys. I was asking, like, okay, so you guys are going to kind of tag team on next Thursday at 11. And I was asking you, what's the topic that you're going to present? And I think it's one that everybody's really going to be interested in.
Let me see a show of hands of anybody that has a memory issue.
Depends on what time of day you ask, right?
Well, the name of the class is going to be Your Memory and How to Save It. It's a fun class that I put together over the years, because no matter where I go, people have some memory issues. And I tell you, these days, if I don't write things down in at least one place, I can't remember things myself. I lost my phone last week, and it just threw a rock at me. It just set me back so much. And the problem was, I was getting ready. I was sitting in the doctor's office, and I was trying to remember what I did with my phone. I'd had it within the last couple hours, and I'm freaking out about trying to remember where I put my phone. And the doctor to be came in before my regular PA came in, and he said, "What's the problem?" He said, "You look a little distraught." I said, "I can't remember where my phone is." And I said, "I think I left it at Wendy's." And he said, "Would you like to use my phone to call Wendy's?" And so we called Wendy's, and they found my phone.
Oh, good.
So I relaxed. But it's just, memory issues as we get older are just getting worse and worse and worse. There's just so much to keep up with these days. Appointments, medications. Gosh, I do a class from time to time called Medication Management. How in the world you folks can keep up with taking 4 or 5 medications is just beyond me.
Yeah.
And it can cause
Or more.
yes, can cause severe issues or death. You might not have any relief of the issue that you have, because you can't remember to take the darn medications when you need to, or you can't remember if you took it.
Yeah.
And so you double up, and then you have some severe issues, end up in the hospital. So that's the main one. That's one of the main topics I want to talk about next Thursday. Memory issues, and then insomnia, and it all kind of fits together. If we don't sleep well, boy, our memory's shot the next day. We need to let those brain cells regroup and relax and reconnect, or we just can't get through the day.
Yeah. Dr. Mike Edwards with the Faith College of Natural Health, and Dr. Kevin Kilday with the Faith, who is the Dean, President, and founder of the college. I want to talk about this for a minute, because I guess that's the culmination of a life's work of doing the addiction recovery, all the holistic therapies, and you saw the need to help people, as Dr. Mike was talking about early in the show, take more interest in their own health. And what a great way to be able to do that. So this is a college that is right here in Brevard County, headquartered here, offers courses that are, whether you maybe fancy that you have an interest in really learning this and maybe would like to become some kind of a holistic health practitioner, this is a great course to go through. Or maybe you're just a person who wants to invest in your own health, and I can't think of anything better to invest into because, my dad always said, if you have your health, you have everything. And, to be honest, if you're fighting health things, then that's the only thing that matters, right?
Exactly. Yes. The health is number one. I mean, even my own daddy used to say, if you don't have if you have your health, you got everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much money you have or how much money you don't have, or whatever the case may be. The health always should be number one. Followed by your spiritual relationship with your higher power.
Yeah.
So so getting back to the college. So yes, next Thursday is going to be great. We're going on at 11 a.m. And like you said, Pastor Mike. I'm sorry, Dr. Michael is going to present a probably about a half-hour lecture on memory issues. I'm looking forward to it. We also have some courses that are related to memory issues. We even have a course called insomnia management because let's face it, if you don't get enough sleep, you're not as sharp as you normally would be. So therefore, it could be turn into a memory issue or just not functioning 100%. Another course that we have called Emotionally Free, which really addresses depression and stuff, but it's all related, so I'll look at my course list because we have 60 courses online, to see if we have something directly related to to memory.
Yeah.
But we have all kinds of courses, and specific certifications and degrees. You can take 5 courses and become certified as a natural health advocate. You can take 5 more courses and you become under our umbrella a certified health coach. And and like I said, and some of the courses, we cover a lot of things, healing plants and foodborne illnesses, which Dr. Michael wrote the course, anatomy 101, which is one of our courses, and the introduction to health coaching. We look at it as we train individuals, to maybe run a like a nonprofit ministry, or as they say back in the day, put up a shingle and start doing health coaching, or just any number of things.
Yeah, and what's amazing about the college is that you've built it in a way that this is typically it's on demand, so people can take the courses. It's very economical to go to the school, number one. But number two, and then, like I said, you don't necessarily have to be interested in a degree program. You could just be taking this for personal information. Or you could choose to, maybe some people they sort of dabble with, like, let me stick a toe in the water, take a course, and then say, wow, this is really good. I'd like to learn some more. And to that point, you've actually made a course available that's absolutely free for people to be able to get an introduction and see what they think about it. Talk about that course.
Yes, it's a totally free course, and it's what I call a mini course. It's really half of one of our regular courses. And it's based upon a book by Kim Lamb, Lam, and it's called The Holistic Health Guidebook. Okay, and it's just exactly what it's all about. She's Oriental and addresses a lot of Chinese herbs and stuff in the book, and just holistic living in general. And so we have half of her book totally free. It's about I think about 75 pages or something in a PDF file, and it's totally free. There's no obligation. The only thing we ask is just for your name and your email address. That's it. Just so we can follow up and see how you liked it and all that. That's the only thing that we ask for. We're not going to sell your email or nothing. It's just for us internally, to follow up on it. Just give us that information. No one's going to contact you, and just take the free course. And what you're looking at would be a half a course. Our courses are just based on the average of 12 weeks, a standard college course. All right. This one is just based upon 6 weeks.
Right.
Okay. However, upon completion, you will get 1.5 college credits from us. Okay. You can get the other 1.5 if you sign up for the college, and it's still totally free. Whatever program that you sign up for, and you can do the other half of the book and get totally 3 college credits from our college. Right?
Yep.
So it's like I said, it's a great little course. It gives you a general introduction of the holistic health field and really what we're trying to do.
What I like about it is that it's something that you can do that's going to improve the quality of your life with just time that you might otherwise be wasting. Instead of scrolling along on social media, you could invest that same time and maybe be taking this course, which, at the very least is going to help you get a better understanding of your own health, and maybe at best could possibly cause you to make some changes that would extend your life. Why would you not invest into your health? And even when we've talked about this, and it's premature to talk about it because we're really talking about just getting somebody's toe in the water. But what I like about how you gentlemen have put the college together is you did it in a way that is terribly affordable, so that it, to be honest, for the price that you pay for your copay to go to the doctor, you're almost paying for a course. I mean, you've been able to bring it into a model that really, if there's an interest to study, shouldn't be in the way of somebody's ability to be able to do that.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought up tuition, because we have just changed, and it's not even up on the website. This decision was made by the board just last week that we decided to change our pricing structure, actually for the better. We did have a like a membership, monthly payment type of thing, and we have decided to drop that. But it will be available for any student that signs up. But we are going to the traditional
Pay as you go.
per credit hour.
Yeah.
And pay as you go. You can buy. We do it one of two ways: either buy an individual course, and we're charging $40 a credit hour. I mean, a fraction of the cost of even the state, local, community college. And so that turns out to be $120, base price for the course. I say base price because the only additional cost is just getting a book, and all of our books are less than $30 or anywhere between $15 and $30 on Amazon. Yeah. And so really out the door price, it turns out to be, you're just buying courses individually, $150 per course.
I wanted to just make a comment about that because, again, people will go out and they will, what's that MasterCard commercial? What's the value? It's priceless. If it's going to help you live a better life, what a way to do that. So how do people learn? Well, first of all, I hope you'll come out and join us next Thursday at 11 a.m. like we've been talking about. that's really going to be the best opportunity for you to meet Dr. Mike, meet Dr. Kevin. You already heard you can get a copy of Dr. Kevin's free book. One more time, share about that.
Yes, I have come out with a brand new book called Winning at Recovery. And it's about a holistic approach to addictions and mental health issues, not just for the individual, but for the whole family. It's about 100 pages. It's totally free. I will send you a free copy of it via email. So send me your email address to the cell phone number of the college, which is 321-549-0711, or just email me personally at drkilday, that's K-I-L-D as in David, A-Y, at gmail.com. So drkilday@gmail.com, and just say requesting a copy, and I'll know what you want.
Yeah, I want to encourage you, by the way, if you're hearing this and you want a little more information, go to, if you're on Facebook, just go to Faith College of Natural Health. They've got a great Facebook page up. It'll lead you right to the website, and you can just get some more background and information about it. But I really hope we'll see you on next Thursday. So again, we're talking about 26th of March at the Senior Resource Center. Dr. Kevin Kilday, who is the president, founder, and dean of the Faith College of Natural Health, as well as Dr. Mike Edwards, who is one of the professors at the college, are going to share. And the topic is really going to be valuable because we're talking about improving your memory, which is something we all need to be concerned with as we keep making trips around the sun. So,
And one last thing,
Yeah.
I mean, we just touched upon, that we offer certifications,
Mhm.
but we're a college, so we are offering from associate's degrees all the way up to doctorate level.
Yeah, I was going to say you need to invest some time to learn about the college because there's so much you could draw out from there. Maybe it's even a second career.
And really, anybody who has life experience, if you're a civil servant, police officer, fireman, and also medical, nurse, doctors, anything to do with medical, and all military, you automatically get 15 credits, 15 of our college credits, absolutely free because of your life experience.
Oh, that's good. All right, good to keep in mind. Faith College of Natural Health. We'll see you on Thursday, a week from tomorrow, at the Senior Resource Center for a great lecture with Dr. Kevin Kilday and Dr. Mike Edwards of the Faith College of Natural Health. That is getting close to about the time we have for today's edition of Helping Seniors Radio. We are so grateful for you tuning in right here on 90.3 FM WEJF. As always, if you have questions, just give us a call, 321-473-7770. That's our senior info helpline. If something ran by too quick for you on the radio and you didn't get a chance to jot something down, call us. We're happy to help. That's why we exist. We'll see you next week, right back here Wednesday lunchtime on the radio.